Hey, what's up? I am Clifford Starks, competitive edge specialist. I help you get those high performance habits because championship habits lead to championship results. I'm part of the Jesse T Show, and I can't wait to get started.
The mighty, the powerful Clifford Starks. Welcome back to the Jesse T Show, brother.
Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate you.
Man, I
Appreciate you
love
having
you,
me on.
brother. First and foremost, just want to let people know how powerful of a human being you are, how great of a human being you are. You have so much that you've experienced in a relatively short amount of time on this earth, man. And it's all been catered around high performance, work ethic, busting your ass. And then you've seen some really amazing highs in your sport that you were in for a long time, which was martial arts. And now you're translating all that over to entrepreneurship for yourself, but also other people like us that are entrepreneurs or executives that need that high performance edge that you just spoke about, man. So I just wanted to just dive in a little bit just to kind of give more context to some people who maybe haven't heard your story. Who are you? What have you done? And let's get into like what you're doing today.
Yeah, I always say I'm just a guy, to be completely honest. I'm a guy who had a big dream, and I just followed my dream. And the reason I even had the dream, what really moved me forward was when my grandfather passed away. I was 5 at the time, and it shook me. It really did. And seeing him in the casket let me know, like, this is all gonna end on this side. And I
Wow.
don't know what happens on the other side, but I know what I know here. And knowing that was like, crap, what do I do? What do I do with this? And my parents consoled me in the best way that they could, but they didn't know that was going through a 5-year-old's head. Like they had no idea. Um, but at the time I coached myself through that process, not realizing that's what I was doing. And I said, all right, I get an option. I already know I'm going to die. So am I going to go to a slow death, or am I going to live as much life as I can? And I chose to live as much life as I could.
Wow.
And that's what really it was the catalyst to get me to stretch into the person that I became. And I've done a lot of fun things, and I plan to do a lot more fun things. I've been an MMA fighter, a personal trainer, a coach, a competitive edge specialist to get you to your high performance. And I do want to climb Mount Everest one day.
Let me know.
So yeah, yeah. I want to get there before the 5-year mark of me now. So I'm 40. So before 45, that is the goal.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, just living as much life as possible. There's ups, there's downs, there's lefts, there's rights, there's everything in between. And the one thing that I know I can control and anyone else can control is their attitude. And so I'm really there to support people along the way because systems are going to change. They always do, but the adapters, the ones who know and believe in themselves, will figure out what they need to do sooner than later. And that's what I'm there for. I'm just your support system to guide you to your greatest dream and your greatest life.
Brother, you just dropped 40 years of wisdom in less than like 2 minutes. And so I'm going to unpack some of that. First thing is, seriously, if you do Everest in the next 5 years, let me know. I'll do it with you, no
Awesome.
question. That's an amazing. We definitely want to plan ahead. I'm sure you know that, but like
Oh yeah.
I don't want to get stuck on the mountain, you know what I mean? But like we could have a team and a crew and all this stuff. We'll get into it, man, but I'm down. Let me know what the deal is.
Yes.
um and why, really quick before we jump from there, why Everest? Like, what calls to you? Is it just because it's like the one of the biggest, baddest mountains in the world, and people, it's such a high pinnacle, high performance thing? Like, what calls to your soul about Everest?
You just answered it. Like I like tried to do really, really hard things because one of my power of six, it talks about clarity, confidence, and commitment, and confidence. I really love the word confidence, and I didn't even realize it. This is something I realized on my coaching journey. This wasn't even when I was a personal trainer. As a personal trainer, I really became natural at a lot of things, but I was reading consistently. Like I read on personal development consistently. And I didn't realize, like, I just instill confidence in people. Like, that's what I do. Just them being around me, just because I believe in people so much. And I believe in people so much because I believe in myself.
Yeah.
And believing in yourself is like going out to do hard shit. Like, if you go do hard things, you're like,
Yeah.
well, what can stop me? Like,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
dude.
even the transition from being a fighter to being an entrepreneur, you have to know how to public speak.
Yep.
Like, you just have to know how to get on that stage. And I'm getting on the stage the first time, and I bombed just like everybody else does the
Sure.
first time because it's something new. But I wasn't like that nervous. Like, I didn't feel, I felt the nervousness, but it was like, well, they can't punch me in the face and they can't
Yeah.
kick me,
Yeah.
so I think I'm good to go.
Right. There's levels. Yeah.
Yeah, there's levels to this game. And so I always want to push the pinnacle. I'm always looking to push that edge
Yep.
just to know so I can keep my edge. So I can
That's
always
awesome.
keep the edge. And I'm like, Mount Everest would be the next perfect format to see, like, well, I've already stepped inside of a cage, so let's see what I can do hiking this dangerous mountain.
I love people like you, and I think this is part of our soul connectedness because we're both into this kind of stuff, this kind of pushing the edge and human performance, and really it starts with like yourself and pushing yourself because we don't really have any limits. There's we're gonna find out as we go along and different things that we're experiencing on this earthly plane that you know most of our limits are self-imposed and most of it is negative self-talk or it's also limiting beliefs and there's all this stuff and people saying you can't do this and all that and it's like there's all these stories and all these adages out there like you talk about this one and I'm going to butcher it but basically there was like an eagle that grew up with a bunch of chickens who couldn't fly
Mhm.
and the eagle kept up looking up to the sky and seeing all these eagles flying and he looked at his chicken buddies and he's like man I just have this feeling and this knowing that I want to go fly. And they're like, well, you can't because you're a chicken, bro. Chickens don't fly. And then eventually, I think somehow the eagle decided to fly and he realized he was an eagle. He realized that
Yeah,
he was never the chicken. No, he has
yeah,
nothing against chickens, but he just chickens don't fly, right? So it's like the eagle got up to the sky and he realized that he did have the power all along, right? And so I think
yes,
that's the same thing for humans, where a lot of times pigeonholed, right? Like kind of using the bird illustration here, but we're pigeonholed and we don't realize how powerful we are. We're powerful beyond measure. We have all of us have a sprinkle of the divine in us, right? It doesn't make us gods, but it makes us powerful. And we're all
yeah,
creators and we're all able to really manifest anything we put our minds to. And really, it's just our mind that needs to have that switch.